kind of silly.
Here's a cut from the COVID advisor to the White House, Andy Slavitt, and listen to what he says. Cut 11.
Everything you do is safer if you're vaccinated. Everything. Go to a wedding, go to a restaurant, hang out with friends, go to a barbecue, go to work. Everything you do is much, much safer if you've been vaccinated. If you haven't been vaccinated, those things are still dangerous.
But are they dangerous for kids? I mean, that's the poll question, right? Are they? Is it really dangerous not to be vaccinated if you're a kid? I would say no.
Yeah, none of it makes any sense, though. It's like when people say to me, Howie, oh, that's, your wedding's in November. You'll be fine by then. And I look at them, I go, based off what? What are you basing that off? Oh, well, there's so many vaccines. Everyone's going to be vaccinated. I'm like, what does that mean? They don't care about that. We're not dealing with any sort of rational thought process. We're dealing with complete nuts.
Yeah, it's just a submission. Show that you submit to the state, to Big Brother, by getting your vaccination, and bring your toddlers in to get their vaccination too.
Exactly. It's insane. By the way, Howie, an update here. Federal agents have raided Rudy Giuliani's New York City apartment in the Ukraine probe. I wanted to hear what you thought about this, Howie.
No, I think it's outrageous. I mean, I just keep thinking that John Kerry is still flying back and forth as the climate czar, and he's still on the National Security Council, and he's apparently selling out American interests. Hunter Biden lied on his federal forms to buy a firearm when he said he wasn't a drug addict. And he's not being prosecuted. He's teaching.
He's teaching a class at Tulane on fake news.
In fake news, and he said in an interview, he said he has absolute confidence he's not going to be indicted. So does everybody else in the United States. And at the same time, that Rudy's apartments and offices are being raided in Manhattan. Roger Stone is under the spotlight again for allegedly evading income taxes. I mean, as far as I could see, Roger Stone is broke after he was persecuted for the last 4 years for doing absolutely nothing. And now they keep coming after him. I mean, the double standard of justice here in the United States of America. I mean, this is strictly a political persecution that's going on here. And yeah. I don't see how this benefits the country to go after the other side after the election. I mean, remember Donald Trump said, if I'm the president, Hillary, you're going to prison. But once he got in, he let it slide.
But Howie, what I think the difference is, because I was thinking the same thing today. Donald Trump was having such wins. He was having such success, and he was really kind of winning people over because of his policies. They're having the opposite. I mean, they've had 100 days now. It's been an absolute disaster on all fronts. And I think that this is their last resort of, we need to remind people of other people they hate, because maybe the American people haven't had enough orange man bad in the last couple of months, and they're starting to look at the Biden administration a little bit more closely. So Joe and Kamala say, you know what? Let's open up that can of worms again to remind people that at least we're not Trump and Rudy. That's all it is. It's distraction. It's like shiny object.
What I disagree with is that, do you think Joe and Kamala can think that clearly, if wrongheadedly? I don't think so. Let's go back to the menthol cigarettes. Suppose Donald Trump had come out in the first 100 days of his administration and say, you know what? These blacks are smoking too many damn menthol cigarettes. I don't care if you like them or not. We're going to get rid of them. You'll have to smoke cigarettes like everybody else smokes.
Well, I dare say menthol cigarettes kill more black people than cops do.
That is true. But it's the thing is
systemic racism.
You have
big tobacco companies.
I know white people who like menthol cigarettes too.
Right. Dapper O'Neill used to smoke Cools before, when Cools were the top menthol cigarette. The legendary Boston City Councilor. A texter just said, "Do you remember? I mean, this is just back to Joe Biden days with the super predators when they put in different penalties for crack cocaine which is more, except for Hunter Biden and many others, but it's more popular with minorities than powdered cocaine. And everybody said that was racist to go after crack cocaine as opposed to powdered cocaine. And how is this different? How is it different?
Well, the other part of it too is that with this administration, it's like my mama always used to say to me when I would say, "Oh, Mom," I would come in with some problem, and she would say, like, one thing at a time. You know what I mean? Focus on one thing at a time. It's like they don't have enough issues to worry about that they got to add this to their plate. And it reminds me of, so they got this crisis on the border, Howie, and all they want to do is talk about how they're going to train the border officials what words to use. Don't use illegal alien, use this word instead. And then instead of trying to open up the schools or open up the economy, they're worried about climate change. And now instead of, just anything productive, they're like, we're going to ban menthol cigarettes. Someone's got to get in there and say, let's focus, let's prioritize. How about some priorities? Is that so much to ask?
No. And I think too, so suppose some advisor had gone to Donald Trump and said, Mr. President, I've got a really good idea. Let's ban menthol cigarettes. Donald Trump, what he would say? He'd say, you shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. It's a stupid habit, whether you do it or not, it's a stupid habit. But who are we to ban one type of cigarettes over the others? I mean, that is the viewpoint of a rational, freedom-loving American, right?
Yeah, we allow stupid habits. That's what makes this country so damn great. Is you can have tons of stupid habits. You can drink Coca-Cola as much as you want. You can do whatever. That's the part of it. It's like, yeah, there's bad effects. You'll figure them out eventually. But it's not up to the Uncle Sam to come in and say, "Give me your cigarettes, please."
Right.
It's just ridiculous. Oh, by the way, Howie, Cuomo aides spent months hiding nursing home death toll. We knew this.
Yes.
But the New York Times has an update. The effort by Governor Andrew M. Cuomo's office to obscure the pandemic death toll in New York nursing homes was far greater than previously known, with aides repeatedly overruling state health officials over a span of at least 5 months, according to interviews and newly unearthed documents. Mr. Cuomo's most senior aides engaged in a sustained effort to prevent the state's own health officials from releasing the true death toll to the public or sharing it with state lawmakers. So this is just an update on that story. I don't know if you saw yesterday.
By the way, this whole thing, though, we always talk about how these revolutions devour themselves.
Yes.
There's a guy, one of the front runners for the mayor's job in New York is a guy named Scott Stringer. He's the comptroller. He's a career hack politician. And he's demanded that Cuomo resign. And he's shocked that Cuomo is still in office, and he's supported by people like Senator Biaggi, the woman who wants Cuomo to resign, and all these people. Guess what happened yesterday, Grace?
Oh, no.
A woman came out and accused this guy Stringer of doing the exact same thing that Cuomo's accused of. Grabbing her in cabs on ways to the campaign and all this stuff, and saying, "Why won't you, you know what he was asking her to do."
Yeah.
And so now he so now he's been saying, "I believe all women and Cuomo should resign." And now he's saying, "Don't believe her. I'm not getting out of this fight."
Well, what's funny too is I saw a headline today in the Daily Mail, and I don't want to misquote it, but Cuomo he has this habit. And I had a woman call in one time, Howie, and she said it. And I was like, oh, wow, it might have been on your show. I was thinking, wow, he really does do that. He has this horrible habit where he asks himself questions and then answers them. And now it's getting really interesting because he said something along the lines of, did I touch people? Yes. Like he's asking himself these questions, but now it's like he's running his own investigation because he has such a big mouth.
Well, he said he doesn't need to get the investigation because he already knows he's innocent. He basically said that the other day. We'll know he's really gone totally around the bend, Grace, when he starts saying, "Did Andrew Cuomo touch women?" Yes, Andrew Cuomo touched women. The third person, the Wade Boggs of response.
Exactly. All right, Howie, that's all I have for you today.
Okay, thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
I have to read a HelloFresh spot here, and but I'm gonna go away from it a little bit here today because I got an email last night, a couple of emails from one of the regular listeners of the show who was convinced to order HelloFresh the great food delivery system. I told her about in a spot last week about how great the cheddar Wonder Burgers were and the Old Bay fries. And so she ordered some, and she just sent me an email last night about she and her husband. We loved our first HelloFresh meal a lot. It was Szechuan pork and green bean stir fry. He described Howie described some cheeseburger he had last week so beautifully that I signed up for HelloFresh. This is what she told her husband. The Szechuan pork was great, Howie. I thought it was amazing, actually, better than similar dishes I've had at restaurants over the years. Very happy to have the recipe card. Loved how HelloFresh box came with everything, and it was so easy. Very much worth the money. Good dinner, and it was something to look forward to in these still darkish days. Plus, we have 2 more meals to try this week. The packaging is just wonderful. And then she sent me another email that said, greatly looking forward to the Gouda burgers tonight. The add-on chocolate lava cake was also excellent. So this is a satisfied customer, another satisfied customer like me and Taylor and Grace for HelloFresh.
I've never heard from any dissatisfied customers. I've never heard of any to be heard.
She said, definitely a home run. HelloFresh lets you skip the grocery store, the Karens, the one-way aisles, all that stuff. This isn't takeout or some space food you microwave for 10 minutes. These are, as my listener said, fresh, whole restaurant quality meals made with pre-portioned ingredients. You could prepare them in as little as 20 minutes. They send all the ingredients right to your door and deliver them contact-free. You get those easy-to-follow recipe cards that she was talking about with pictures at every stop. With more than 25 chef-created recipes to pick from, you'll never run out of meals to try. And it's 28% cheaper than shopping at your local grocery store. So do what my listeners have been doing and what I've been doing. Go to HelloFresh.com/Howie12 and use code Howie12 to get 12 free meals, including free shipping. That's code Howie12 at HelloFresh.com/Howie12 for 12 free meals. HelloFresh.com/Howie12, code Howie12. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show.